You know, when we agree on anything, nothing we can't do. There are certain things that God expects us as individuals when the things that affect you as an individual, you deal with those things as an individual. You don't need others to join you. But it is something that affects others. Like the whole church, the church in that city. You need agreement. You need God's people to join you in prayer. And one of the things that Satan has used against the church is to get God's people divided on many subjects. Because as long as they cannot see something in the right way together, then they can't agree. Now, by the way, that doesn't mean you have to get every Christian to join you. No. Those who know the truth, they are the ones that God holds responsible for others. So remember that. If you can get sufficient of those who know the word, that's enough. Don't think that the ignorant will cancel whatever you have. No, they can't. They don't have the power. Because remember, he told us, he said, those who are spiritual should take care of the weak. So he's not holding the weak responsible for their decisions, their bad decisions. He's holding those who are spiritual responsible. So when some don't know and they're talking rubbish, don't be moved. Don't feel bad at all. That's division among Christians. That's not what he calls division. Division is only recognized when those who are spiritual are divided, not when the babes are divided. No, the babes and the ignorant being divided doesn't mean anything at all. Doesn't mean anything at all. And there are babes. Some bishops are babes, you know. And it's not a criticism, all right? Some pastors are babes because you don't have to be, you can be called into the ministry before you are born again. Yeah. Paul said he was called from his mother's womb. See? So you have to understand that. Your calling can be before you were born again. That doesn't mean that you know the truth. And so a man or woman can enter the ministry before he has time to be mature in the things of God. And that's why when you get into the ministry, you need training. Let no one deceive you. Training is important in the things of God. It's important. You're not going to skip the steps. So that's very important. So you go through the scriptures, you discover these things are very, very vital. Otherwise, you are ready to make the mistakes. You're going to make them. And sometimes those mistakes can be devastating. It can be devastating. And some of those mistakes can cost your life. So I'm trying to say that just because someone is in the ministry doesn't mean that he knows what he needs to know. But you have to grow. You have to learn. And give attention to spiritual growth. Give attention to spiritual growth. So when it comes to prayer and the spiritual things that we have to do, God is not holding the ignorant responsible. It's those who are spiritual. Look at the book of Acts. When they had matters to deal with, spiritual matters to deal with, they didn't call the whole congregation. They called the apostles and the elders. The apostles and the elders. Elders not by gray hair. No. Elders, those who have been with them through the ministry. A certain level of understanding. Certain level of leadership. So they were the ones that they called to consider vital things that were going to affect the whole body and the future of the church. So they didn't call everybody. And then the Bible tells us about false teachers, false brethren, false apostles, false prophets. I love what Dr. Mike Smalley says. He says, among the 5 offices, the only one that didn't mention false with, evangelists. So he says, I like the fact that I'm an evangelist and there are no false evangelists. Oh, I love Dr. Mike Smalley. Praise God.